Hello world, hello worlds. Clive Davis died at 94 years old. Though he had 4 kids and was married twice, he came out as a bisexual man at 80 years old. Controversy stems from him being an attorney to darkening some great artists' music careers like Phyllis Hyman, Angie Stone, while partying in the same hotel room as Whitney Houston, lie dead upstairs at the same hotel. Despite everyone saying Whitney Houston was one of his greatest artists, this is again controversial. His actions of him allowing the party to continue on the same day, again as Whitney's death. Believe it or not, he actually stated, according to Wendy Williams when she interviewed him, that Whitney would want to have allowed the party to go on, whereas Whitney differed with him. However, the controversy again with Clive Davis is the fact that you will learn that he had dealings with the mafia. And though he lived to impact many people's careers, the dark side of Clive Davis dealing with the mafia remains a mystery. The legacy of Clive Davis being Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy's mentor, is memorable in the worst way. Because as the public has found out, there was much, we'll say, freak-offs and so forth taking place that no one or people are now questioning, again, where could have P. Diddy have learned or was allowed to get away with so much action, we'll say. Well, although again, Clive Davis is being mourned, again, don't forget, he was worth $815 something million. And he was again Sony music executive from 2008 until the time of his death. And if you didn't know, he died at his home in Manhattan. Believe it or not, he was actually born in Brooklyn. So he's a Manhattanite. And
we're in the middle
they
of
said
this.
he
You
died
get back
of
in the
respiratory
studio, and you know what's crazy?
What's that?
illness.
Because you leave Clive Davis.
Take a listen to Angie
And
Stone's
again,
comment
you
about him.
signed
By
to
world.
Stax Records.
Yes.
Why did you leave Clive Davis to begin with?
Okay. I left Clive because, once again, I was the teacher bringing in all the students. I think I was rubbed the wrong way when I found out I didn't make the Oprah show because of my weight. And then I'll tell you something that happened that I haven't told anybody, but you'll get the exclusive. D'Angelo had lost his deal with Virgin, and he called me, told me. I made a phone call, and I got Clive and Peter Edge to sign him to J Records because I could not bear the idea of the world finding out that he had gotten dropped. Okay? And they signed him. Lo and behold, I believe his manager at the time, not knowing it had come through me, basically made a deal. I'm thinking they made a deal that will come, but she has to leave. Oh. And so I kind of got a feeling my album budget got cut. I usually have $1 million album budget. They wanted me to make the record for $500,000. And at the time, I had Diary of a Soul Sister. It was what the album was going to be called. I had, Chaka Khan, Nat Nicole. I was getting some divas to sit with me, kind of, and kind of chop it up and do a classic album, something that had never been done. And when they cut the album, it just just threw up a red flag to me. I'm like, how am I going to do this record now with everybody? So I kind of started feeling weird. And at that point, I said, you know what? One or two things is about to happen. They're either going to drop me or I'm going to be stuck now because I don't know how I'm going to do this album. Well, the straw that broke the camel's back was shortly after that. They told me I had to change the name of my album because Alicia was doing Diary of Alicia Keys.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, my chest sunk in. And I wrote Clive a letter and asked for a release. Because at that point, I felt like, okay, this ain't how it's supposed to be. So that's the real reason that I left, because Diary of a Soul Sister was in the works, and that came about. But I think there were two things working against me. And I think that, when I walked away, nobody really looked up. I just felt like I was kind of pushed out, if you know what I mean, because intuition is a mother.
Yep.
You feel me?
Yep.
So that's my truth.
Huh.
That's deep, ain't it?
Yeah, it's
I'm
very
just saying.
deep. I'm absorbing it, because I've never heard this before.
You wouldn't, because one thing about me, I haven't done a biopic because everybody that wants to do a biopic, my story is so deep that it will uncover layers and layers, and I'm talking about layers of truth. And I think people are really afraid because they know. And so I've almost abandoned the idea of doing a biopic. I really don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to see anybody lose their cool. But I mean, I've helped managers, Kedar Master, but Erica Badu, all of them, a lot of people think, oh, this one discovered this one. No, Erica would tell you, Angie is the one who helped get me through the doors with that we had a show in Dallas with D'Angelo, and Kedar was there, and they came to me and said, what do you think about her? But, that's not to toot my horn, but they would never go back and say, Angie Stone had something to do with this. That's why I tell you, a lot of things were kind of swept under the rug. But Erica has told the story because she knows the truth. I just, when I heard that people were saying they braided D'Angelo's hair, they didn't. I braided his hair with string. When those people, it was just so much that I could talk about. That.
Oh, hold on. Let me make sure I got that right. You because D'Angelo is known for them cornrows.
Yeah, I braided his hair with string. He didn't have enough hair when he did the Brown Sugar cover. I created that look for him. And I'm not doing that to toot my own horn, but if I got to telling my story, there would be a lot to tell. But I'm not interested in telling a story that really would hurt anybody, but just to vindicate myself, because it's a lot of stuff that people don't know. It's just like things I'm telling you today, you wouldn't never know what it is. Like, nobody would know that Paradise is my voice on the internet, that they're saying this is Mary J. Blige and D'Angelo. It's not. It's Angie and D'Angelo in the background, and Mary dubbing my lead vocal. And I'm like, you can't take a song. It's just, I've had my shares.
Yeah, you have had a ride in this industry, girl.
But guess what? I'm still flying high. I'm still cool.
There you go. You still here. You're looking good. You're sounding good. Okay. The books wasn't closed on Angie Stone just yet. Just because you left J Records, you went on and you worked with another one of my favorite artists, Miss Betty Wright.
Oh.